Hello and welcome to another Tri-tutors video. In today's video we're going to be doing an overview of Shakespeare's Othello. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight into the characters, the plotline and the themes involved. So firstly, in terms of our characters, we have Othello, who's our protagonist. He is also the tragic hero in this play. He is married to Desdemona and he is the Duke's sort of go-to in terms of military general. He is an important general. He is very successful in battle. We then have Iago, and Iago is the antagonist, the villain in the play, and he is going to attempt to get revenge on Othello. He is a very cunning character, but a very clever character, and he's going to manipulate Othello into ultimately, causing his demise. Rodrigo is Iago's sort of stupid, silly sidekick. He doesn't understand that Iago is manipulating him. Rodrigo is in love with Desdemona, who obviously Othello has married, and so he's going to land up giving all of his wealth away to Iago because Iago has promised to somehow make sure that Desdemona will fall in love with him. He is ultimately betrayed by Iago at the end of the play. Desdemona is Othello's wife. She is Brabantio, there are different versions of this name, daughter. She is a Venetian woman, a young Venetian woman. She's seen to be very beautiful, and she is accused of cheating on Othello. She is quite an innocent, naive character, and she obviously did not cheat on Othello, but Othello does not believe her when she says that she has not. Brabantio, that's Desdemona's father. He is a senator, so he's quite high up in the Venetian sort of governmental system. He is extremely racist with regard to Othello and Desdemona's relationship. He's quite important in Act 1, but then he's not so important later on. Then we have the Duke, also just important in Act 1 in setting things in motion, because Act 1 takes place in Venice and the rest of the play takes place in Cyprus. So the reason why they go to Cyprus is because the Duke has ordered Othello to go and defend Cyprus against the Turks. Cassio is Othello's lieutenant, so right at the beginning of the play, Othello promotes Cassio over Iago to the position of lieutenant, and this causes Iago to, become jealous and put his plan in motion to destroy Othello. Emilia is Iago's wife. We only really meet her in Act 2. She is also Desdemona's attendant. She's quite important in terms of inadvertently assisting Iago in his plot to make Othello think that Desdemona is cheating on him, but she also ultimately reveals the truth, which causes Othello to kill himself out of, sheer desperation and remorse. So let's have a look at the plot. So this is a very, very condensed summary. Cassio is promoted by Othello to the position of lieutenant. Iago becomes jealous and wants to take revenge on Othello. Othello and Desdemona's secret marriage is revealed to Desdemona's father by Iago and Rodrigo. Othello is sent to fight with the Turks in Cyprus. Iago then manipulates Othello into believing that Desdemona is having an affair. Emilia steals Desdemona's handkerchief, which serves as proof to Desdemona's betrayal, because it is planted in Cassio's possessions. Othello becomes extremely jealous and kills Desdemona, and then ultimately in the last scene, Othello kills himself upon finding out the truth. So that's just a very, very short recount of what happens. So here are some major themes that come into play within this story. So appearance versus reality. We see this with regard to many of the different characters. How they appear, how they seem is very different to their reality. And the most important one is Iago, because he appears to be on Othello's side. He appears to be a trusted advisor, a trusted friend even. And yet in reality he is plotting Othello's demise. And it's not just with regard to Othello that he serves to illustrate this theme, but actually in his interactions with everyone, with Rodrigo, with Desdemona, with Emilia. Friendship and loyalty, this is quite significant as well, because Othello believes that Iago is honest. He believes that he is his friend, whereas to Iago, friendship is expendable. Love, this is a key theme here because the entire plot has got to do with this loving relationship between Othello and Desdemona. In Act 1, we hear about how they fell in love, and the question is, are they actually truly in love? Is this relationship ever going to last, due to the foundation on which it's set? And that's a question to consider when they describe how they fell in love with each other. But also, this love proves to, ultimately be betrayed. And Iago manipulates this love and turns it into I don't know if you could call it hatred, because Othello still apparently loves Desdemona, but ultimately it leads to both of their deaths, to Othello and Desdemona's deaths. So this theme of love is important. Jealousy is extremely important. Obviously, the whole plot is set in motion by Iago's jealousy of Othello, of Cassio, but also he manipulates Othello to become jealous of Desdemona, which causes Othello's downfall. Passion versus reason. This is an important one, and for me, you can argue many different perspectives on this. Are these characters acting out of passion or reason? Do they change over time? So for me, at some points Iago is acting out of passion, some points he's acting out of reason. Othello, he starts off acting out as reasonable and rational, yet he turns into this passionate person who doesn't listen to rational thought and logic. So that's an important theme to grapple with. Reputation and honor. This is incredibly significant with regard to many of the characters. Once again, Cassio has a famous quote where he is absolutely horrified that he's lost his reputation. Iago manipulates the situation, and Cassio loses his reputation, and he's absolutely devastated by this. Iago's reputation is arguably, the cause for so much of the drama and the tragedy, and it's seen to be false, right? Because his reputation is this honest, friendly, dependable man, and yet he's the opposite of that. And Othello's ultimate urge to kill Desdemona comes from protecting his own reputation and his own honor, and he can't believe that his own wife would just disregard his honor, his reputation, but also her own by cheating on him. Racial prejudice. Being an outsider, Othello is subjected to racial prejudice in a very alarming way, especially in Act 1 when we have Brabantio's confrontation with Othello, because he's very angry that he has married his daughter, that Othello has married his daughter. Betrayal and trust. This links to that love, the friendship and loyalty, and even appearance versus reality, because it appears that Desdemona has betrayed Othello's trust, but in reality she hasn't, and Othello to an extent betrays her. And then in all Shakespeare's plays we have the theme of fate versus free will. So what happens to a person, or what happens in a storyline, is it because of the character's free will? Have their actions caused this, or is it fate? Was it always destined to be? I hope that video was helpful, and I'll be posting some more detailed videos on Othello in the future.